probably all witnessed a Zoomie in your puppy already. This is usually a high burst of activity or energy that your puppy is trying to release, and this can be due to various reasons. What you'll tend to see is your dog will start to frantically run around the house or the garden like crazy to try and release all of this energy. And then in a matter of moments, they'll just collapse to the floor. So the Zoomies are completely normal in your puppies, so do not worry if you see these. A lot of owners will worry at first because they can just see their dog running around like crazy and they're wondering what the hell they are doing, but they are completely normal. However, if we start to identify the triggers to these Zoomies, we may be able to reduce particular Zoomies depending on why they're doing it. A common time of the day that I see the Zoomies in puppies is the evenings when the owners are trying to settle down. And this is usually pent-up energy that the puppy has before they are trying to settle down too. What I would suggest you do is, if this is happening regularly in the evenings and you can almost preempt that this is going to happen, what you need to do is just ensure that your puppy has had a nice training session before the evening, before you're settling down, that's going to mentally stimulate them. So something that's going to tire their brains out. What you can then do is follow this by giving them a chew or an enrichment type activity from the enrichment video in the course. So for your high drive working breeds, what you want to look at doing is making sure that you've got some structure in the evening. So providing that enrichment activity in their safe haven would be really beneficial for those, because what that would do is help them to switch off, because sometimes they really struggle with this. Their safe haven area, as I've already discussed, would be something like their crate or their pen. The second reason you might see a Zoomie is due to lack of exercise. So maybe your puppy's got a lot of pent-up energy and they're trying to release this because they've not had enough physical exercise. I see this in particular with dogs that have been crated for long periods of time. So what you want to look at doing here is ensuring that you are providing the appropriate exercise for the particular breed that you have. So the third reason your puppies might Zoomie is actually on the flip side to what I've just said, in that they could be getting too much physical exercise. This could mean then your walk may be overstimulating your puppy, or we could be getting some joint discomfort because actually they are still going to be growing, and growing pains are a thing in our puppies. So we need to ensure that if we're doing the walks for long extended periods of time and they're coming home and Zoomieing, it might actually be that we're doing too much exercise. So we could look at reducing that and providing them with some more mental stimulation and training at home instead. The fourth reason your puppy might be Zoomieing is down to stress. So is something stressing them out on their walks or in the home, which is then triggering a Zoomie type behaviour? So for example, when I used to take my puppy on street walks where there was a lot of cars around, he would come home and have a Zoomie. Whereas if I took him on a field walk with less stimulation, he would come home and he wouldn't Zoomie. So actually, I managed to find a trigger point there of what was stressing him out. So instead, I reduced those walks on the street and upped my walks on the field. I still wanted to take him on the street to get him acclimatised to the traffic at a pace he could cope with, but I didn't do this as often. So he didn't have such a build-up of stress on a daily basis. So what you're needing to do when it's down to stress is start to try and find those little triggers, what might be triggering your puppy's Zoomies. So fifth reason could be after bath time. Many puppies will Zoomie after bath, and this could be simply as a relief of stress. Maybe they didn't quite enjoy bath time, or it could be that they are just trying to dry themselves off. Again, this could be quite normal if they're trying to dry themselves off. If it's a stress relief after bath time, you could start to assess their body language to see if there's anything you can do to make bath time more comfortable for your puppy. So you may see the Zoomies when your puppy is excited by something. As you can see here, what I gave my puppy once was a yogurt pot, and he got very excited by this and started Zooming around with it, okay? And this Zoomie is absolutely fine. Another reason could be dogs that are quite food obsessed. So before you feed them, they start to anticipate the food, so they're fueled with adrenaline. And then after the food, not only have they got this adrenaline, but they've had a surge of energy because they've now eaten. And then what you could find is your puppy is then quite hyperactive after food time. For these dogs, you could help reduce the zoomies by providing them with their food in calm activities, something like a snuffle mat or scatter feeding their food on the grass for them to search and sniff for may help relax them. Another reason that I have seen the zoomies in dogs in the past could also be down to underlying discomfort. So I have seen this occur when dogs have had diarrhea, so loose stools. They have then had a zoomie around the garden, and this is a stress relief. Some may do it when they come home from a walk if they've had joint discomfort. As I mentioned earlier about too much exercise and growing pains, we could have a dog that has joint discomfort also for other reasons, and they're coming back and they're releasing that stress from their walk. So zoomies can be dangerous if they are doing it on slippy and slidey flooring. So a quick tip is to try and get your puppy outside if they are zoomieing around. I tend to suggest redirecting them onto something calm. So it might be that you get them doing a sniffy activity with yourself. So something like scattering food along the grass for them to sniff, just to help bring their arousal levels down. So as you can see, there are lots of reasons for zoomieing. As I said before, they are totally normal behaviours in your puppies, so don't be alarmed when you see them. But what you can do is you can try to identify the triggers to see if that you can help reduce those zoomies in any way for your puppies. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it, and if you're wanting more tips on all things puppy and how to train your puppy, then don't forget to subscribe, because there's lots more videos coming out over the upcoming months.